Hey, Dylan. So what have you done for your pre-draft process as far as who have you worked with? What have you focused on? How has it gone?
Yes, sir. So I ended up, long story short, I had the privilege last summer to go to O-line masterminds with Duke Manyweather in Frisco, Texas. Based off that, we built a relationship. Throughout my last season, we stayed in contact, and I ended up going out there to train. I was there for the past 14 weeks since the first of the year. Having some fun training with some of the best offensive linemen in the country, tuning in my craft, my lateral movement, my quick explosion, and I dropped over 27 pounds during that time period. Had a great time training, developing my mind, developing my game as an offensive lineman, and becoming as fast as I possibly can. Trying to turn myself into a track athlete of some sort.
Hey Dylan, what's some feedback maybe that you've gotten from talking to NFL teams on things that, you mentioned things that you're working on, but what have you heard from them, things they want to see more from you, especially going into tomorrow?
Yeah, so tomorrow means a lot for me. I'm able to put on display some of the things I wasn't able to during season, which of course is moving my feet, moving laterally as fast as I possibly can, and generally just showing my athleticism. I pride myself on being an athlete. My dad was a judo player back in the day, so I have incredible mobility. That quick twitch athletic muscles I've been building my whole life throughout this process is something I'm really looking forward to put on display tomorrow.
Dylan, what kind of things do you think you learned during your 2 years with Coach Atkins that might help you?
Yeah, I think about my personal brand, right, and being my own Fortune 500 company. And at the end of the day, what I put on display here at Florida State speaks for itself. But what I'm going to do tomorrow should add to that story and allow me to reach those goals I'm trying to achieve.
All right, we're going to come to Zoom for a question from Matt Marshall from the Orlando Sentinel.
Hey Dylan, how are you doing today?
Doing wonderful, brother. How are you?
Good, good. I want to ask, has any teams reached out to you about maybe doing workouts and things like that for them?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I've got a couple teams reach out here locally, and I'm looking forward to hearing some more teams tomorrow.
We're going to go to Tyler, last row on the right.
Hey, you mentioned working with Duke, and obviously this offseason draft process. What is that like? How is that training regimen different from what you're doing within the season?
So it ended up being a lot better of a experience than I could have ever possibly thought of. Right, I had all my meals provided for me 7 days a week. I had access to one of the best training facilities in the country, located at the Star, the Cowboys campus, Sports Academy. Had some of the best trainers, physical therapists, manual therapists money could buy. Trained about 4 times a day, give or take. Was able to do workouts for the past 6-7 weeks since the NFL guys came back with full groups of NFL offensive linemen. A lot of those guys you see on his Instagram and all over Facebook and all that stuff. But it was absolutely amazing to be able to have that type of experience. Not only working with some of the best guys in this class as offensive linemen go, but being able to work with guys that have been in the league for a number of years. Vets, guys that I look up to. So it was absolutely amazing to have that experience, have those resources, and really indulge myself in everything I possibly could during that experience.
We'll go back to Brendan on your left.
With all the work you've done, Dylan, I know you've played through the season, not always feeling great. I guess, how are you feeling now? And what do you think it shows about you as a player that you were able to kind of go consistently and that you weren't always feeling great?
Yeah, so anyone that watches college football or knows college football knows that there's not really time to recover. I've been playing college football for 6 years. So it was absolutely awesome to have this time period to recover, to get myself better, to focus on some of my weak areas, and really just try to stop some of those systematic issues that some players might have. But for me, I was able to take a step back, again, indulge myself in the physical therapy, manual therapy, and all those awesome things they had at their disposal up there at Sports Academy. And I feel better than I have in the past 6 years. I feel like a newborn baby. My joints feel great. I'm jumping real well. I'm moving extremely fast. And I really look forward to putting that on display tomorrow.
We'll come back to Ira on your right.
Along those lines, throughout the years, I've heard a lot of players come back and say that, like, once they're kind of can put school in the back burner or away and focus just on training, that's a big difference. And like you talked about losing the weight you've lost, how big of a difference is that, just being able to focus entirely?
Yeah, I wouldn't say the school component's ever been a challenge for me, especially with compartmentalizing my life. If anything, it just allowed me to reprioritize my time a little bit, indulging in some of the X's and O's and nuances in the game of an offensive lineman, especially in the recovery aspect of things. But again, this time period's been great for me, but hasn't necessarily changed anything that I have been doing. I've been treating myself and living every day like a pro athlete for the past 3 or 4 years since I made that transition in my life, but really hasn't changed much for me. Just reprioritized some certain things and allowed me to indulge in some of the things that really helped me change my body.
I'll go to Essen, second row on your left.
Dylan, you mentioned building your own brand at Florida State. What did you learn with the business side of the NFL, talking to coaches, agents, other players in this process as well?
Yeah, I mean, we met with all different types of folks in the classroom when I was at Sports Academy with Duke Manyweather. Like Richie Incognito, he came in, and we got to hear about his perspective of his time in the league, time outside, how he put together his brand, put together all the money that he's brought throughout his lifetime. But it's been incredible to have those experiences, meet with those individuals. What I learned at Florida State, again, is about the proof is in the pudding. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what school you're coming from. If you're able to play football, you're going to play football. Coming from 2 radically different locker rooms compared to Notre Dame to Florida State allowed me to have an experience of coming into an NFL team. I know Florida State isn't an NFL team, but at the end of the day, it allowed me to show what I'm able to do coming into a new culture, proving myself, and earning the trust of a program and every single individual on this football team to be able to go out there and perform at the best of my ability.
Go back to Brendan, front row on your left.
I'm not sure if you've been able to make it out to any spring practices, but before the snap, the offensive linemen are still doing the fist bump.
Yep.
For you to lead that here and that culturally, I guess, what does that mean for you?
Yes, sir. Every day when I wake up in the morning, I'm thinking about how I'm going to be remembered, what my legacy is going to be, and that's something that I've been trying to do ever since I first got here and went to Bobby Bowden's funeral. It's something for me. The offensive line here is in a great spot. I've been watching all the highlight tapes you guys have been putting out for the past couple of weeks at the end of each practice. And it's been incredible to see the development of the offensive line, how Coach Atkins hasn't, stopped and changed his perspective of the way he's treating the guys, and the amount of competition in the room. Once you have success like we did last season, it's really easy for individuals to get complacent in every group. From quarterback to running back to the defensive side of the ball to the offensive line. You can have guys that have been, brought into positions and just assume they have that position next year. But bringing in the amount of talent that Coach Atkins did, and more talent I'm sure is sure to come here in the summer, it's absolutely incredible what he's done. So I really look forward to watching some more of that competition. I've heard some good things from some young guys, surprisingly, and a lot of the old guys are still holding their own. So I look forward to seeing how that competition plans out or plays out. But I'm really proud of those guys, and they're definitely continuing all the work that I did here at Florida State.
Now we're going to come back to Zoom for Matt Marshall.
Dylan, along those lines, when you look at where Florida State has been and where it's going right now, you talk about your legacy, how leading the legacy there. What do you think about this program moving forward? Do you think it's fast on track? And how big of a part of that will evolve?
Yeah, so I've talked about the development of the culture here at Florida State, the ebbs and flows, and what else happened over the past 3 seasons, the 2 I was here and the one where Coach Norvell was here when I wasn't. It's been incredible to see the buy-in from the players. And as you start to have this type of success that we've had over the past season, like I said, it's easy to get complacent. It's easy for individuals to fall into jobs that they've already had, and it's easy to try to follow the same stuff that's worked. But I'm really excited to see this football team perform, not only in the consistency they bring every single day to practice and getting 1% better, but striving for that extra 1%. What's left out there in space. There's an analogy, it's 1 + 1 = 3. There's a little bit of magic in the air here at Florida State, and that's the only way that equation works. So I'm excited to see what happens this season. It's incredible to see, the trajectory of this team, and I really look forward to seeing what they do this season.
I'll go to Bob, second row on the right.
Hey, Dylan, good morning. Can you give us an update on Big Man, Big Car, what you've been doing there of late, and how can it grow as you move into the NFL, too?
Yes, sir. So having the platform that I do have, and hopefully will have in the NFL, will just by itself allow Big Man, Big Heart to grow. But my brother, Riley Gibbons, stepped up towards the end of this football season. It really helped me manage Big Man, Big Heart, allowing me to focus more time on what I'm doing, trying to play NFL football. And he's done an incredible job recruiting ambassadors throughout the state of Florida and planning some really exciting events here this summer with the Florida FWC.
You're good? All right. Thanks, Dylan.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you.
70% right now.
Why was it important to play last season if you needed shoulder surgery?
I just, just wanted to be out there with my guys. And, I knew if I could still get in my stance, I can go. So, that's what my mindset was, and I was going to be out there for my guys. We went blood, sweat, and tears all season, and I just felt like it was just only right for me to be out there with my guys and play, give all I got.
All right, next will be Brendan on your left front row.
Coop. So have you been limited with what you can do physically? I know you said you won't be able to go do much tomorrow. Have you been limited with other stuff in the pre-draft process? And if so, I guess how has that impacted some of what you've been able to do for teams?
I know it was, for the most part, probably get some workouts going on with them, but other than that, I told them even at the Hula Bowl that I probably wasn't going to be doing nothing at pro day, and most of them thought it was a smart move because it's about a 5-month recovery and trying to do something at 2 months, But I still been been in contact with a few scouts and everything, so I feel like it hasn't impacted it that much.
Brendan, when we talked to you at the end of the season about just kind of leaving this program in a better place than you found it, and just kind of seeing what you guys did this past season, now the expectations that are going into the season for 2023, just reflect on just how much things have changed in a few years here.
The expectation always going to be the best. Even when I'm here, gone, I always expect those guys to get their best. Like I said, I was just on the team, so I still know most of them. So, like I told them, the expectation never changes. Continue to get better. So, be your best.
Next will be Aslan in the back right.
Robert, how does the excitement or anxiety of it? How does it differ between before game day and before meeting with a football team, an NFL franchise, and how do the nerves feel today going into pro day versus the day before big football day?
I'll say it's just about the same. Just knowing that you've been preparing. You've been trained for moments like this. So it's just, just keeping that same mindset and, just attack. Just do your best. As long as you're giving your best, ain't much can go wrong.
Go back to Brendan. You like that some of the defensive linemen have kind of carried in your mantle of the races?
Oh man, yeah, I seen it. I loved it. I love it. I love watching every video. I just seen the last one where Fish just got out of there on him. Man, how long it took me to get a win against Coach Norvell. But no, it's definitely a joy to see, just knowing that they still keeping it going, and I know it's real fun. You can get Coach Norvell moving a little bit.
Next will be Tyler, back row on your right.
What's going on?
What is that all-star kind of week like when it comes to talking teams, talking to different people all from across the country?
Yeah. It was very, it was a great experience. It was a great overall experience for me. But, what it looked like for me was just, you got practices in the mornings, and then, right after practice, you're jumping right into, interviews with different teams. So, there was times I wasn't getting back to the room till about 7, 8 at night, and we coming back at like 1. So things like that. But like I said, it was just a great opportunity to just meet people and, do some activities with, some of the best college football players in the country. So, that experience overall was just great.
We'll stay over there for Ira.
I know you've been out to some practices with Fabo coming back and Josh taking the next step and the guys that brought in the whole defense. How excited are you to see it?
I'm excited. I know we always going to have some dominant guys, but I know this, just watching them and, even talking to them, it's different. Those different guys, and, you can still tell they're, trying to bring their best every day, and, you see the positivity around everybody, and, everybody bringing each other along, just like how it always was. So then you got guys jumping into that, leadership position. You got, Josh. Josh got to step up too. So, he's been doing a good job with that, and I told him I've been impressed with him so far. I told him he's putting it together, but overall I see dominance all over that D-line and defense, to be honest.
that has long in the past.
Robert, how does it feel to know, like, if you bump into Asante or Brian Burns, or those guys, you just kind of let them know, like, hey, man, remember what you guys were
Yeah.
at, this is what it's like now.
Yeah, I mean, that's a conversation I, had with, guys like Christmas, guys who was here, when freshman, sophomore year with tag, and, just tell them, like, just how much it changed, it's night and day, just, you got guys, willing to work every day no matter what the day look like. So, I mean, when you got guys who's willing to do that and then do it with each other, 10, 11, 12 championship season, I mean, that ain't going to be surprising when you got guys like that.
Anything else for Coop?
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you.